Okay, a quick mic check here. All right, sounds good. I will be on camera in just a minute, or less actually than a minute. Yeah. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Thursday. Wow, took me a second. Yeah, good Thursday. There we go. Hello. Like I said, hope everyone's having a good Thursday today. And I'll be starting a new painting today. Just got to get my palette out, as you can see right now. Just have the wood. I was quote unquote good and actually put my palette away, which is good because it keeps the paint. What's it called? Keeps more of the paint um, fresh, so I can use more of it and don't waste as much. There's always going to be a certain degree of waste. That's just the reality, but I wouldn't consider that waste. It's just part of the process. Let's see. Two crafty queers, right, conversing over coffee. Yay, can't wait to see what you are painting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and do a quick portrait today. That's the plan. I have my reference all set up. So yeah. But I do have to get my brushes because I forgot to grab those. Uh, 1 second. I keep my brushes over here on the side in a container full of mineral oil, but definitely need to find a better container for this than the one I'm currently using. And also, you got to be careful with mineral oil. You don't want to get any of that into your paint. So I make sure to clean out my brushes before using them. I try to have everything set up right from the get-go when I start streaming, but a lot of times there's like one or two things I forget or don't have time to set up. Also, a lot of times it's a little slow in the beginning. People sometimes take a little bit to arrive, so don't mind taking a minute or two just to like clean my brushes and get set up. But yeah, today I'm going to be working on a portrait. I'm going to try and finish it quickly. I'm not saying I'm going to finish it today on stream because I probably won't. But the goal is to finish it quickly compared to most of my other paintings. So it might be a little less detailed than some of my other paintings, but that's honestly not an issue for me. I think that's fine. And also, I will be starting this painting a little different than normal and kind of what started to become my go-to, which is I'm going to try just blocking everything in before even sketching. Just go in straight away. Excuse me. Allergies are getting the better of me a bit right now. Hey, Lost Pixel. Good to see you. I'm in chat, but I'm mostly going to be lurking. Okay, no worries. Got some work to finish up. No worries. Welcome, Lost Pixel. Lost Pixel is on Twitch, and he's a streamer on Twitch. He streams 3D modeling stuff, which is really cool. Very impressive. I'm very impressed with the stuff he does. I can't. The 3D stuff I struggle with. Doing some programming commission for another streamer. Oh, nice. That's very cool. Yeah, Lost Pixel helped me with some conversion. Uh, what what program was that called? Anyway, some conversion for video editing stuff. Now that you're an affiliate, you can test that stuff out. Oh, very cool. I'm glad it's allowing you to do what you want. Also, hope the allergies are treating you better. Yeah. The surprising thing is this is actually an improvement of what it used to be. So, you know, I think the shots are starting to take effect. Um, but yeah, it's still not great, clearly. But yeah, they have been a lot worse in the past. So hopefully this is as bad as they get and they just keep getting better. Fingers crossed, you know. What I'm really hoping is that I can actually keep getting my shots with the new insurance I have, I should be able to, but I'll believe it when I see it because I do not trust insurance health insurance companies. Last week says understand, deal with massive allergies myself, and that's after reducing from shots and every remedy known to man. Yeah, okay, let the lurking commence. I know. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm not going to worry too much about getting all the colors right in the beginning since the background is so dark. My assumption is probably get it wrong, and I'll have to go in and adjust things. So I need to get like ballpark colors, and then I from there I can adjust, and I can actually keep some of the wrong colors sometimes, which can just add to it. Which goes back to my philosophy a bit of, you know, not worrying too much about getting everything right away. I realize looking at this, it might not be clear what I'm actually painting. There's a shoulder, there's a shoulder. It's a person looking at themselves in the mirror. That's what's happening here. It'll be clear in a minute. Like I said, mixing the colors right now is a little challenging because it's so hard to compare colors against this black background. Also, my paint is starting to seize up a little on me, so it's a little older than I probably should be using. It's fine. It just makes working on it a little more difficult because it's all like stiffer and drier than it needs to be, or is usually, I should say, rather. I was watching some Instagram reels today, and there's this one person who does uh uh hold on, sorry, I got distracted. This person who does reels about like painting and color mixing and stuff like that. And while I don't think this person is necessarily wrong with their like assessments and stuff, I do ultimately disagree with like what they're saying, like their approach to things. It's close to right, but just like slightly, I feel like off. I'm not mentioning them because I don't really want to get into it with anybody, of course. It's a personal preference a lot of times for some of this stuff, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's interesting. I would like to do more like experiments with painting, with color, with different paint brands and so on. Maybe I'll give me some more nuanced, understanding of things. Anyways, hey Cassandra, welcome. Cassandra says, "Hooray, new painting." Yep, new painting. The goal with this painting is to actually finish it. Not today. I don't think I'll be able to do it that fast, but relatively speaking, the goal is to get it done a lot faster than a lot of the paintings I've been doing recently. How have you been? I hope you're feeling better. Did I get to try out your sander? Yes, I did. Looks like you might have. Yes, this is sanded using my new sander. It works really well. There's just one big problem with it. And it's not with it directly. It's just it is so freaking hot outside right now that taking the sander outside and sanding panels is miserable. So that's the only big problem I have with it right now. It's just too darn hot to use. Of course, once I get through the panels that I do have, I will have no other option. So. Let's see. Sandra says I could be worse. The uh, AQI is really bad too. I don't know what that is. We do live on the surface of the sun, lol. Yeah, Texas. Air quality index? Oh, is it really bad right now? That's not surprising. The smoke come from California, apparently. Oh, is California on fire again? That's great to hear. I have to make sure all my friends are okay. I'm assuming they are, but I'll have to double check on them. I didn't, I clearly do not keep up with the news that well. So yeah, you might hear me sniffling a bit today. I don't know if it's because of the air quality or if it's just my allergies being what they are, but yeah. I have some photos from when I lived in LA from when what's it called? The There was like some major fires and like the whole sky was just like orange. I have some photos from that. Like not just the sky, the sky turned everything orange. It looked like it really did look like a scene out of a movie. Uh, apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, Mad Max type of thing. Like it really had that eerie like look to it. Yeah, I was able to like sand like two panels. I actually sanded a couple more than two, but um a couple of the ones I sanded need a second pass with the sander. I I didn't realize that I missed some spots on them. But otherwise, yeah, I'll put it off till things get a little bit better or cool down a bit or I have to like one of those scenarios, right? Nope, that was the wrong spot. Oh well. The sanding on this one looks almost like you're painting on slate stone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does have that kind of look to it. It's really nice. It's very smooth. It feels really good. Um, it's a little bit of a hassle to sand them, but it's not a huge hassle, especially when you take in consideration that like if I were to what's it called? If I were to prime it, um, I would also need to sand. Like generally speaking, when you prime things, you want to sand them as well. it might be a little less sanding, like the sanding part might be a little less intense, but then the priming part ends up being more intense. So it ends up, I think, being roughly, I think easier overall, all things considered, especially if you take in consideration like what's it called? Making wood panels from scratch. The only thing I would say is obviously pre-prepped panels are obviously easier, but the trade-off then is the expense, of course. You like it? That's yeah. I mean, it's it doesn't really matter that much, uh, in the sense of like it gets covered up anyways. So yeah. Okay, no worries. I'll be honest, I think that's enough to have done so that I can use the, what's it called? The brayer. I don't think I need more than this for the brayer. Because a bunch of things are in the wrong place anyways. So I might as well just use the brayer, mess it all up, and then start getting everything back in this right place. Oh, lovely. Okay, hold on. Internet's about to cut out. Hmm. Let's see if it's still working. Not looking good. Okay, there we go. It's back. Well, that was annoying, as always. Okay, now I need to be more diligent about my connection, so hopefully, hopefully there's no problems with it, but I need to pay more attention to it now. Alrighty. Um, oh, there it is. Okay. Alrighty, time for the brayer. At least the first pass of the brayer. This one might get two passes. So this painting has a bit of a slant in some of this. It's because of the background. So I'm actually going to use the brayer to accentuate that slant. Um, yeah. So, like I said, this one might get two passes for a few reasons. One is I really left this very vague so far, and so when I go back in, I might end up wanting to do some of the after I like draw stuff back in, I might want to get the brayer effect back to a degree. So we'll see. Because yeah, this is so like hazy and vague at the moment, which I like. I do like, but uh what's going to happen is I'm going to draw in some of the features and stuff, and I'm going to get some of it wrong. And then as I go back and correct it, it might be a nice way of like, getting it back into the right place by using the brayer to spread everything around and then go back in and fix it. So, so yeah. All right. Now, normally I would probably, what's it called? At this stage, I'd probably take a photo of it, put it into my computer, overlay it onto the reference image and so on. But I'm gonna try not to purely for time purposes, so I'm just gonna try and freehand a lot of this. And like I said, I know I'll get some of it wrong. That's fine. And I feel like I always miss the brayer, Cassandra says. I just did it. If you go to YouTube, you can rewind it and literally just watch it. It's not much happened, I'll be honest. It's a pretty tame one right now. But like I just did it. So yeah, not a it's a pretty tame one because I got to it so early. So I'm probably gonna I was saying there's a good chance I might do a second round of the brayer. Um, we'll see. Because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna paint things in now, and I'm probably gonna mess something up, and then I'm gonna have to go back in and fix whatever I mess up. And the brayer is a nice way of like getting rid of mess ups and adding to the painting overall. So you get to like cover what you've done and add to it, which is a nice combination. Cassandra, do you have a brayer? Um, if you don't, you can borrow one of mine if you want sometime to try it out. Cassandra is a local artist here that I met through actually through Discord through a different artist community. But yeah, so that's why she gets offers like that. So just putting that out there so people don't have expectations. I'll start mailing people brayers to try out or something. Let's see. She says, "No, I don't. No clue what I'd do to my paint. LOL." I'm special by proximity. Yes. But yeah, remind me, do you use Golden Open or just regular acrylics? Yeah, you use Golden Open. Okay, well, if it's Golden Open, then you could probably use a brayer with them. If it was regular acrylics, I feel like they would dry too fast to be worth it, kind of thing. But if they stay open, yeah. Hey, Des, back from Walmart. Welcome back. Good to see you. How are you doing today? So Des, as you can see, I have started a new painting today. The goal with this painting, while I don't think I'll get it done, I don't think I'll finish it today necessarily in one sitting. But my goal is to get it done a lot faster than the paintings I've been doing lately. Partially because Portrait Artist of the Year paint along is coming up in a few weeks, but not only. I also am practicing. I want to do more like we'll call them studies just to kind of differentiate, but or maybe quick paintings might be the right term for them. So like just somewhat quicker, faster paintings that I can do versus like the ones that take uh, a few more weeks to finish. So I'm trying to practice that right now. Got to put some food on to cook, BRB. Okay. So I know a lot of people work dark to light on oil paints, acrylics too, and there's a lot of really good reasons for that. Having said that, I don't do that anymore that much. A little. I mean, it's still there. Learned that way, so there's it's still there, and there's, like I said, there's good reasons for it. So there's a lot of reasons to work like that. However, um, maybe it's because of all the like high key paintings I did where like there was no real darks. Uh, so I've kind of gotten into the habit of working not so much dark to light, but kind of like mid-range, and then spread out from there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think part of that might be because of the what's it called? The all the high key paintings I did where like there was no darks to speak of in some of them. So there is no way of working like that. Also, my particular pigment choices, I think, might be affecting that as well, because part of the reason for working dark to light in oils and acrylics versus like watercolors is because of how the properties of the pigments in the paint. Watercolor builds as you go, so you work light to dark because the more paint you put down, the darker it gets, and you can't really go lighter unless you start using gouache. But if you're using just watercolor, you can only go darker, you can't go lighter. In oil paint, um, I'm sure a lot of you know this, so this is for the people who don't. But what's it called? The light paint usually is more opaque. The dark paints are usually very transparent. And you don't want to get any white in your dark colors because then they can look kind of milky, which is not usually a good look for your dark colors. Also, um, if you use thicker paint for the white colors, it physically brings them forward with the impasto. Um, and so having thinner paint for the shadows also works really well. That's why I said there's a lot of really, really good reasons to work like that. But not everything has a strong dark pattern. Oh, also, dark colors, when you squint, tend to, what's it called? Group together a lot easier than light colors do. Um, because we have a wider range of vision in the light than we do in the darks. So the darks start blending together faster. So it's a good way of grouping everything together and making for stronger forms and shapes. So yeah, all of those are really good reasons to work like that. However, there are reasons or not to work like that, right? Um, for one, my pigments, let's see, my white and my black are opaque because I'm not using the normal ivory black. I'm using Mars black, and it's an opaque black. My yellow is an opaque yellow, although it's not that important. But that's it. My other colors are transparent or semi-transparent. And depending on the yellow you're using, it will be I'll be honest, even the opaque yellow is kind of transparent because it's so light. Um, yeah. And then so that's one difference. The other is if you're messing with your values and your color ranges, then you can run into the situation where you really don't have a lot of like strong um, light and dark patterns, especially if you're lowering the contrast, which a lot of my paintings I have been doing that. I would lower the contrast on purpose to make it more hazy and moody and atmospheric. Um, or I was pushing the, compression like crazy, or doing like high key paintings, or the no value paintings, stuff like that. So, or single value rather. So yeah, all of those things just wouldn't work with traditional, you know, systems of like laying in your darks first. Just they won't work like that. And then also sometimes like what you're painting just does not have a lot of like big dark shapes, in which case you kind of have to either just address the ones that are there or find a different way of approaching it. All right. So if I want to be efficient with things and not just waste my time, I am going to have to take a photo of it and throw it into the computer real quick. So, not leaving, but it's a little bit, I feel like this is always a little bit slow when it comes to the, what's it called? To the stream. But what you're gonna do? I have to, gotta do it sometimes. So I'm still here. Not going anywhere, but I do, well, I'm off camera, is what I guess I'm getting at. So I use Photoshop, although I'm not a fan of Adobe, but I use Photoshop. Other programs work as well to overlay my reference and my painting. I can use that as a way of seeing any placement mistakes that I've made. That's really the only type of mistake it addresses. It doesn't really address anything else other than like is my placement slightly off. And it's not perfect either because, lenses, as much as we like to think of them as like a perfect conveyor of reality, they're not. Um, they warp the view a bit, there's distortion and so on. So it very much is a what's it called? It very much is just to uh, you know, give an idea or uh, um, get it close, but there's still a lot of like doing it by you know, like yes, I still have to look at it and see if it looks right or wrong and make a judgment call. Alrighty. But it definitely helps when things are very off, which some of this is very off. So I guess I rushed it a little too much today, or I'm just a bit out of it. Either way, not a big deal. Just check something real quick. I'm getting a notification from YouTube. I want to make sure everything is okay there. All right. Just wanted to make sure. Hi, camera. Alrighty. Some of this is pretty accurate, some slightly less accurate. So let's fix that. So yeah, clearly I got a bunch of placement of things quite a bit off, which, I think this is one of those things where obviously sometimes you have good days and bad days, but also I do think this technique actually helps you get better at getting it right overall, like over time. And really, any technique that gives you immediate feedback will help you uh, get better at it. Although I think probably the best thing is like, you know, just practicing like what is it? Probably bargs or whatever. The like basically practicing drawing that like that's the focus of it is copying what you see down in an accurate way. There's no like that is the best thing to do, but uh, you know, that can take a long time to get really good at that. And also it is a muscle. If you neglect it, you kind of lose it over time. Not 100%, but a little bit. Also funny how one mistake when doing figure drawing of any kind, really, one mistake often leads you down the wrong path into other mistakes. So it's definitely, if something doesn't look right and you can't pinpoint what it is, search around it to see if what's around it is influencing what you're trying to work on. I've personally noticed that is often the case. Less of an issue when you're using a technique like I am, but if you're working from a live model or you're, purposefully not doing this, then yeah. Or you're, working without reference. So some of it was off, but also at the same time, a lot more of it than I realized was close. Ooh, getting a phone call from suspected spam. Think they can just go to voicemail. Hate those phone calls. Get way too many of them. All right. Hey, Cassandra, you here by any chance? You are. Okay, good. Semi lurking. All right. No worries. Um, I'm mostly asking because I'm going to use the brayer again. So the reason I'm using the brayer again is because some of the paint I put down, I feel like for such an early stage, it's just too rough. There's just too much too much of the paint strokes in it. Not the bristle strokes rather, not the paint strokes. So I thought I'll use it again and then move on from there. And I'm going to put in some random colors because why not? It'll be something to work off of or just erase later on. So might as well. So usually I kind of do an up and down pattern for the brayer, but this This painting has some diagonal stuff in the background, so I'm kind of pushing that angle with the brayer. I don't know that I really like the yellow and the red splotches, if I'm being honest, but like I said, it's also not the biggest deal in the world. It's either something I can take and accentuate, or I can just ignore it as I go through and, remove it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's like thick that needs to be, you know, pushed down a bit. Because what I'm trying to do is eliminate texture at the moment. Any of the like raised, any of the, what's it called? Impasto type texture. I'm just trying to push that all away because it at this stage is not necessary. It'll mostly just get in my way. One thing I hate about the brayer is cleaning it. That says back, sitting down to relax. Nice. Just clean it on my face like everyone did in the old days. Uh, sure. No. I maybe on my clothes, like just use my shirt. I know some artists who do that. I know one artist who um he supposedly does that, and he buys cheap shirts to wear specifically for when he's painting. So he just uses it, and then when he's done, takes the shirt off and puts on a new one and uses them as like rags that he just wears. I don't know if he still does that though, if I'm being honest. I just know he used to do that, and he did that in one of his videos. There's also an artist I like, forget his name right now. He recently put out a reel of him painting in his underwear. Um, and he is, you know, uh, we'll just say a big hairy guy, kind of, not in great shape. But it was really fun to see that. It wasn't like the focus of the video. The reel focused on his paintings, but you could just see him off on the side, and he was just, in his boxers painting, shirtless, which I would never do, regardless of camera or not, because I don't want to get paint on me. But yeah, um, it was funny. It was funny. Des says I wouldn't do it either. Yeah, uh, like I said, regardless of the camera, regardless of anything, I don't want to get paint all over myself. But But the nice thing was that like he didn't get a lot of crap, negative crap for it, which was good because you know, you never know. The internet can be a wild place sometimes. I remember a couple of, well, no, shoot, it's more than a couple of years ago. It was like 5, maybe 7 years ago, something like that. There was this one painter who kind of became big online. I don't remember her name. But she did all these paintings of like actresses and models and stuff like that. Um, and she I don't know if blew up is the right word, but she got big online a bit. Um, and one of the reasons was she did a lot of videos like social media posts where she was like in a sundress or in whatever, like pretending to paint, basically made up, to shoot for video, and so she, to look, as nice as possible. To um, but I say pretending to paint not because I don't think she painted, but the for the video, like I think those were clearly, shoots that she was doing. Because like she'd be outside in her in her garden, painting, and sitting in the dirt painting, and it was clearly already a finished painting. So yeah, it's just whatever. That's the type of thing that people do. But she blew up online because of it, and I remember um, I'm trying to remember, it was one of her managers, or maybe it wasn't even related directly to her, but it was someone who was doing a talk about like strategies to, to become a full-time artist and so on. And they were using that person as an example. And it was at an art school, and all the students there, you know, let's see, like Cassandra says, Instagram loves that stuff. It does. But I just remember the students there, like, uh, you know, regardless of gender, were just like, yeah, I don't look like that, and I can't, or I'm not comfortable doing that, which, like, I heard both, and it was just like, so what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't look like a model. What am I supposed to do? And, you know, fair enough. I don't. They didn't really have a good answer in the talk, which to me just meant that they weren't, very good at their job, because if that's the only way you can be successful as an artist, then you're not good at marketing artists. But yeah. But of course, Instagram loves that stuff, and YouTube loves that stuff, and the more conventionally attractive you are, the easier it can be. There's no doubt. I don't think anyone doubts that, but yeah, also not the only way. Trust me, I went to Portrait Society recently, and I saw some of the successful people there, and not all of them uh, could pull that off. Just saying. Yes, just got hit with the auto mod. Let's see what this says. Uh, YouTube, huge muscled guy wears just a kilt or a kilt tank top, and all his artwork has weird penis motifs, him riding a penis, rockets, and all this odd stuff. It's ridiculous. Most of the time, he's watching chat to see if anyone's watching. Really, I do not know this artist. That's interesting. I'll have to, I'll have to see. I'll have to find him online because that sounds ridiculous. It, it's really, it's unfortunate. There are some artists out there who, you know, um, it's one of those things where it's like I don't fault artists for doing this, but they use, artists will use whatever they have at their disposal, and sometimes it does take away from the art itself. Because it's like you're relying on other things, but it's not entirely fair because everyone will use whatever they have, to make it, right? So I try not to judge based off of that, and I try to really judge people on their art. But it can be difficult sometimes, for sure. I don't know if I read this out loud already, but Cassandra says, "What would Freud say?" Right? He'd have a field day with it. Hasn't most of Freud's stuff been pretty much kind of, I don't want to say debunked, but like evolved a lot to the point where like what he says isn't all that like what he thought wasn't really all that relevant anymore. Cassandra says absolutely. Okay, that's what I thought. I mentioned this recently, but one of the things I noticed I'm doing more of in my paintings lately is I'm laying down colors as kind of like a base color that I know I'm going to cover, but I know I'm not going to cover perfectly. And so I'll have some of the base color either at the edge or peeking through, whichever it is. And I've noticed that becoming more and more of a thing that I do. So like this is all way too dark and way too red over here. Like this eyelid, um, this eyelid or eyebrow ridge and so on. But I know that when I go in and I put in the light color, it I won't cover it 100%, and so I'll have some of that red, or I can blend into it, and that'll give me the transition I want. It's just something I noticed recently I've been doing more and more of. Or maybe I'm not doing more of it, I'm just more aware of it. Either way. Sorry, I got a notification. I was just making sure it's nothing important. Okay. I think it's called occlusion shadows. It's the shadows that get darker because not only is it a shadow, but it's like where two things meet. I think that's what it's called. Which tends to be, you know, a darker, deeper shadow because light just can't get in there, or not a lot can. Um, Something to keep in mind when painting and come across those, depending on what it is. For one like skin, a lot of times, even though you can get that, you can still get subsurface scattering of light, which can change the color of the skin or the intensity um, of its color. Um, and then it often will color the shadow with whatever is around it. So even if shadows are generally cool, because it's, let's say, if it's, on the human body and it's between two, like, let's say an armpit between two flesh parts, it'll often uh, take on the color or the hue of the skin. Um, desaturated and everything, but at least it'll be influenced by it. So a lot of times you'll get warm shadows within cool shadows in those type of situations. I'll be honest, I am liking the like messiness of this painting so far. Yeah, I might try and preserve more of that in this particular painting because I am enjoying it. Cassandra says, yeah, good stuff is happening. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hold on a second. We're trying to find Dresden. He's been hiding. Hmm. Cassandra says, man, I'm looking forward to not feeling crummy. I've got stuff to paint. Yeah, I hope you get through it soon. Oh, by the way, the art collective, they have a what's it called? A show coming up that you can submit for. Um, you might want to, if you need, I can send you the link for it, Cassandra, but I think you should consider it at least. I am planning on it, yeah. I have to read through it. I was planning on reading through it today, but um, to see what I should submit, like what paintings would work for it. But I went and looked at it, and my brain just went, "Oh, that's a lot of text. You should not read that right now." And I was like, "Well, I probably should." And then my brain said, "Nice try." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm not reading that right now." Uh, so. It says it sort of sounded like it wasn't a theme. It's just one day only, and you have to pick up the next day. Yeah. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, it's a one day thing. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what the, you know, stipulations are. I think you're right. There's no theme, but just because there's no theme doesn't mean there's not some nuance to it, you know. It give me a better idea of like what I should or should not submit kind of thing. Okay, because I'm actually really liking uh, what's happening and I want to preserve some of it. Even though I want to go fast with this painting, I need to slow down a little and make sure that I'm not, you know, rushing forward without thought. So let's take another photo of it. In the meantime, I'm going to go get Justin. Hi, little boy. Hi. Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to see you because you're so pretty and floofy and cute. Here we go. Oh, look at this little fluff boy. Hi, Justin. Look at that. Oh, He's so cute. He's got them Muppet toes. Don't know what that means. You mean the fluffy hair that comes off of it? Because, yeah, he's got that. Fuzzy feet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, he's got that for sure. Ah, so much hair, though. Does Automod hate the word the them? I, I, I don't know. You know what I attribute some of the weird Automod toes? No, not toes. It doesn't it flagged them Muppet. That the combination of them Muppet it flagged. And my assumption is that the reason that you get all these weird like automod flags is because um, people create some really weird, you know, slang terms and all kinds of weird things online. And so it gets added to the automod over time. That's my assumption. Well, Dresden, I thought you wanted me to put you down. Now you want more pets? I'll pet you more, but I'll pick you up for it because I have an audience that says I can reduce the strict auto mod. Yeah, I can, but that would require me to do something. Dresden. Lost Pixel says I got auto modded in a different channel once because the end of one word and the beginning of another said something naughty together. That's funny. You know, there used to be a bunch of words that they weren't allowed to print in comic books because the old printing, what would happen is it wasn't very good, and sometimes things would shift around a little, and it would accidentally connect letters and make it look like bad words. So there was a bunch of words that you couldn't print because the print could get messed up and create a naughty word. Mwah. You're so cute. You're so cute. Okay, I'll put you down. I know you want down. And there we go. Michelle says Dresden is adorable, and he and Wizard both have Muppet feet. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the words that you couldn't print. I remember some of them. Um, what was it? Um, oh, trying to remember. I can't remember the letters, but it was one that would spell um, one would spell fuck if it was like if it printed incorrectly. So it was F and then it was like I and another letter and whatever, and it would make it look like it wouldn't exactly spell it, but it would look close enough that they couldn't do it back in the day. And a bunch of other words too. They used to have some weird moderation though on the comic book stuff. Like things got flagged for like the most random thing. Lost Pixel says flick. Maybe. Um it might have been that. I can't remember. But yeah, it's something like that. Something close to that. I can't remember what it was. Um but yeah, there's a bunch of words like that. Just guessing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty close guess, right? Like it's not you're not far off. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Let me drop this into Photoshop real quick. I'm getting close to the end of stream, but I want to do a little more. I have to deal with like what's it called? Um, oh my God, my brain. Oh yeah, trash and stuff like that. Like it's trash day today. So after I stream, I have to go take care of that. So, but I do want to do a little more work here real quick. So I'm just gonna off camera do this where I'm just putting it into place. So I'm overlaying in the computer. I'm overlaying my reference and my what's it called? And my painting. And that's how I compare them. And I use the only thing that really works for is placement. So it doesn't help me with values, it doesn't help me with anything else other than placement. So it's good to know like you know, are these, whatever, is the hair in the wrong place? Does the lips need to, be bigger or smaller? In which direction? So on. But it doesn't really help with anything else other than that. And while that is very important, it is not the end all be all on a painting, especially this one where likeness is not important. However, I did mess up a bunch of things, so it's a good thing good thing I put it in so I can make those adjustments. Isn't that right, Justin? I've said this before, because of the way I approach my paintings, um, I'm like, as much as I correct things, I also mess all those corrections up throughout the painting process. So there's a lot of painting and repainting of things, which I'm sure some people would find annoying. Personally, I don't mind it, but to each their own. All right. Michelle says Leon is literally obsessed with Dresden. It's the cutest thing to watch them. Both are obsessed with each other, playing tag and running around the house with each other. The cutest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, absolutely. I love him. Even though he's a cat, he's kind of dog-like in the sense that like I can chase him around the house and He's not smart enough for fetch, but he is smart enough for like for chasing each other. So I'll run and chase him, and then I'll go hide, and he'll come looking for me. Stuff like that. I wish he was smart enough for fetch, but yeah. She also says Justin found his human. He likes me, but he loves Leon. I think he loves you. He likes to sleep with you at night and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay. I'm like, something just wasn't looking right. Now I get it. Now I get it. This was confusing me. I get it now. Took me a minute to see what was happening here at the eyebrow and the eye and the, what's it called? Everything kind of melds together here. All right. Okay, everybody, I am going to call it a night. My allergies are starting to act up even more. This painting definitely, I need to, while I want to finish it quick, I also need to take it slow, which I know sometimes is a paradox, but that's how it works a lot of times. Yeah. But yeah, my allergies are just starting to really get to me. Does it see a Sunday? Yes, Sunday I will be streaming again, and then on the 25th, is it the 25th or the 24th? I can't remember. 25th, we have Portrait Artist of the Year Paint Along. So 3 Sundays from now. So join the Discord. There's a what's it called? An event I made, and yeah. And of course, my paintings, this one not yet, but my paintings are available for purchase on my website. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out with me and stopping by. Yeah. Oh, uh, bye.